if you can get 6 people out of 10 to stay on your videos on YouTube, YouTube will do the rest of the work. They will promote your videos, you will reach new people. And so much people focus on the middle of the videos when really you got to focus on that front. It's like the 80-20 rule. You know what's worse than going viral?
Not going viral?
No, it's going viral for the wrong reasons.
Oh, okay.
It's going viral, riding a skateboard, drinking a cranberry juice to Fleetwood Mac or whoever. If you want 100,000 subscribers or you want $100,000, those are 2 different goals. So which one do you truly want? If $100,000 isn't a lot of money and losing it completely, it hasn't really changed anything. Maybe $1 million isn't a lot of money. And I realized that all you need to do is come to that realization in your mind before it actualizes.
What's up, family? Welcome back to the Double Down Podcast. I'm your host, DeAndre Woodson, and today I have an electrifying guest for you. He's a powerhouse in the world of content creation, a mentor to thousands, and the mastermind behind the video department. Omar Elakori is here, and he's going to help us unlock the secrets to building a personal brand that not only captivates, but monetizes at the highest level. Whether you're just starting or you're a seasoned creator, this is the episode you can't miss. So let's double down on the insights with Omar. Welcome, man.
Excited to be here. Honored to be here, bro.
Thank you so much. I wanted to start off with this. I know so many people know your story, but what actually went into you deciding to leave being behind the camera with Think Media to now stepping to in front of the camera?
Yeah, a lot of that just came from the evolution of helping people. Sometimes you solve a problem for a certain amount of time, and what you realize is if you're someone who solves problems, what ends up happening is a new problem is created with the problem you just solved.
Good.
For instance, bro, I need to set up my podcast studio.
All right.
Dude, what do I talk about? Dude, how does this thing make money? And as I began to grow as a business owner, I started to create more sophisticated solutions for different size problems. And so, I mean, that's really how the evolution came to getting in front of the camera and teaching, is because I spent over 20 years behind it, and I had a lot to say about, for those who want to get in front of it, and didn't know that would even inspire people who are behind the scenes even now, that probably see what I'm doing now and they want to do that too. So yeah, that was kind of it. Nothing revolutionary, just staying in my lane. A lot of people think I'm very gifted, and I don't know if I like that thought, because I imagine if you've been doing what you've been doing for a very long time with a spirit of excellence, I imagine you will make what you do look very easy.
So good.
And that's rewarded to anybody who's not willing to quit.
Absolutely. There was an earlier podcast that I saw with David Shands. Big shout out to David Shands. I
was literally texting him today.
Dude, how funny.
We're going to do a live podcast like in a week from now here.
Dude,
yeah.
I'd love to be a part of it.
Yeah, I'll let you know.
Fire. But on that episode specifically, I actually saw it from David's perspective. That's how I stumbled upon you. And he was coming into it super duper stoked, like, oh, I'm about to go meet my guy Omar. I'm about to ask him, how is his episode so buttery? And like, when I was watching it, I was like, David Shands, you're the guy I look to. So this guy must be somebody if you're so excited to meet him, right? And when the episode started, you were showing him, hey, this is how you actually, what's the word that you use? Package your YouTube videos. And then you showed him a difference. Someone else did a sit down with an individual, and then yours, and it was right around the same time. We don't have to go into that, but you crushed it. And you were really there to show him, David, this is what packaging is. Can you please explain that to someone who doesn't know? How do you actually package a YouTube video?
Yeah, so packaging is not a new concept. Packaging is how you choose to present the information you want to share. And packaging is a skill. The greatest marketers, the best business owners are usually the ones that find a fresh way to package the information or solution they have. And YouTube being a platform that serves videos, I would say, I like to say YouTube is not a video platform, it's a packaging platform. People have to make a decision before they watch. If it was a video platform, then videos would just be playing while you got on it. But no, you're actually choosing between the title and the photo. You're making a decision. The title and the photo is the package.
Okay.
So packaging on YouTube is, I call it the Trinity of YouTube. It's title, thumbnail, and the first 30 seconds. So the title of your video should read like an article headline. It should be very clear. It's really for the algorithm. You want to title your video in a way that serves the algorithm, and really an algorithm is an audience. Right. So title your videos in a clear way that would serve the audience, and then your thumbnail should draw contrast from your title. Most people put the title in the thumbnail, and that's a waste of digital real estate. You can use the thumbnail to draw emotion. If you put something that draws contrast or maybe brings clarity, or I like giving the thing away in the thumbnail or the title sometimes, like just use Zoom, right, or do less and make more. Found that using question phrases in thumbnails do really well. And then how you start a video is just as important as the title and the thumbnail, because if you click on a video and it doesn't deliver, then people click off. Right. But getting good at packaging will make your YouTube journey worthwhile, because most people they're not putting out bad content, in my opinion. If you're willing to talk for 15, 20 minutes, I assume if you've been doing what you've been doing for a long time, it's probably pretty good. It's just not put in a way that people want to listen or watch. Mm-hmm. And so you got to find a fresh way to deliver information. And that first 30 seconds, I have another framework for the first 30 seconds, and that is the 3C framework of YouTube intros, and that's clarity, credibility, and comprehension. When somebody clicks on a YouTube video, you want to make sure that they clicked on the right video, and you do that by reassuring what they just clicked on. That's clarity. Comprehension is giving something away, whether that's a tip, the actual answer to something, maybe the title of the framework you're going to share in the video. And then the last thing is credibility. Why should they listen to you? And all these things should be done within 30 seconds.
Wow.
And if you can get 6 people out of 10 to stay on your videos on YouTube, YouTube will do the rest of the work. They will promote your videos. You will reach new people. And so much people focus on the middle of the videos when really you got to focus on that front. It's like the 80-20 rule.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Because I post stuff where I'm like, oh my gosh, this one's a banger. I know this one is going to go crazy. No. And then I just throw other stuff where I'm just like, okay, fill in the gaps. And that one is the one that gets 170,000. And I'm like, I didn't even like that.
Yeah.
So it is a weird game.
Yeah, when it comes to content, it's not like life. Like in life, you learn from your losses.
Yeah.
In content, you learn from your wins. So the reason you need to be consistent, posting content intentionally, consistently over a long period of time, is when you find a winner, it gives you information to repeat that. And so that's why it's important to like not overthink it. And I mean, I'm sitting here today after making videos for over 10 years and uploading them online, and I still didn't realize that video would go viral. It was always something else that I thought would and didn't. And that's just a principle in of itself. Like, we're so in our heads. Yeah. We're so close to the thing we like. Right. And we don't really think from out there. But, you know, if you're a business owner, or you want to be a business owner, or you want to reach people, think from out there and let that inform what you create from in here.
Going back to that episode with Shands, there was something in there, and I think that was like the first studio before you got the big one. You were like looking for him to confirm with you of not being just an online coach. Like, you wanted to do stuff in-house, and like you kept asking him like, how do I do it though? I've never done it in person. And he's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. And
then he was looking to the other people in the room just like, is he kidding me, bro? Like, you're not gonna go try to teach real estate. You just teach what you teach online. What were you looking for, like confirmation from him? And then what actually came from that episode, if it was later, where like now you're doing huge events, you know what I mean? So like,
that was super cool. Like, for context, you're talking about the podcast on my podcast with David, which I actually filmed before I knew I wanted a podcast.
Really?
He was in town. I'm like, dude, can we shoot a podcast? He's like, for sure. I didn't know name of my podcast. I didn't know the point of my podcast. I didn't even know when I was going to release this, which is just a story in and of itself of just like take messy action, seize the opportunity while you got it, right?
Yeah.
But during that time, that was actually right after I just invested in myself with Myron Golden. But that was summer 2023. Yeah, I got the space. I signed on the dotted line, signed a 3-year lease to a building that was double my mortgage, and I didn't have a full, perfect picture and plan on how I was going to use it. All I knew is that I needed to do something. I'm so glad I did that, even without full-blown clarity, because a lot of times we're looking for clarity and we'll never get it. The clarity comes in doing. At that point, that was 6-8 months after I moved into this space, and I thought I would like to host workshops. I would like to host in-person events, but I just don't know what to do. And David's like, "What do you mean you don't know what to do?" I'm like, "I don't know what to do." He's like, "Why don't you just teach what you teach online? Teach it in person."
That's right.
And obviously this is where like the game of beliefs start, being challenged.
Okay.
And the I guess you could say the limiting belief I had is that no, people would come here for something different than what they can find online. And that taught me the power of, number one, having great friends that could call out something you don't see in yourself. Because we're so close to our expertise. It's the curse of expert. The thing that you're good at, the thing that you're an expert in, the thing you've done for a long period of time, it's not special to you anymore.
Are you ready to turn your dreams into a reality? At Deviant Consultations, we're here to guide you, complete white glove service every step of the way. Whether you're starting your credit repair journey or you're looking to get business funding, we've got your back. Go ahead and screenshot or click the QR code below and schedule your discovery call with the team. Let's make your dreams come true together.
But it is special to someone else. And you have to almost trick yourself from time to time and remind yourself that what you do is special for someone. And so by him just giving me that nudge, honestly, he's like, just teach the same thing. I didn't realize by that just putting it out there, I ended up doing my first workshop, and he was like, just charge a couple $100,
Yeah.
I ended up charging $5,000 for it. And I think we got 12 people in the room.
Yeah, 60,000.
So that's 60. Of the 12, 4 people signed up for my 12K coaching program.
Okay.
It was a 6-figure move.
Yeah.
And I was so afraid to do something that maybe seemed obvious, but I just wanted it to be very clear on what it looked like. And even in the fulfillment of that workshop.
Totally different.
Yeah. But I've learned this, that most people who are thinking to show up perfectly or do something the right way, there's a right way in our mind, or there's a right way that's not in our mind and we're looking for the right way, when the biggest reason why you should do the thing for the first time is for the data. So I asked you before we hit record, what has podcasting done for your life? And you're like, dude, it's made me better communicator. Dude, it's strengthened my relationship with my wife. Did you start a podcast to strengthen your relationship with your wife?
Absolutely not.
That wasn't a part of the plan.
No.
And that was a payoff or a benefit of doing something you knew you were supposed to do. And I realized that most of the time, the thing we're overthinking is underthinking the payoff. If we think about what's the best case scenario, I love the scriptures, the Bible.
Right.
And it says in Ephesians 3:20 that he can do exceedingly abundantly above all we can ask, think, or imagine, according to the power that's within us. And what's funny about that scripture is that whatever you allow yourself to think or imagine, you're just giving an opportunity for God to exceed it. But if we're imagining the worst case scenario, it's only going to prevent us from taking action. But any action you're worried about taking, the benefits always are multiple than whatever you can ask, think, or imagine. Yeah. And that's just with anything.
Absolutely. Earlier, you said you invested with Myron Golden, and that was like a huge transformation. Was spending $1 million on Myron Golden truly worth it?
Well, I didn't give him $1 million.
Oh,
bro.
okay.
Shoot.
Okay.
I gave him $110,000 though.
Damn close.
Was it worth it? No, 100%. And it wasn't worth it because of the information, and it wasn't worth it, which was amazing. and it wasn't worth it because I was able to get in the room, and it wasn't worth it because he's become like a friend, and it wasn't worth it. It was worth it because he gave me an opportunity to take myself serious.
Wow.
So that and
Because the way he looked at you, or because people saw you next to him, so they took you more serious?
no, because I was able to take myself serious
Got it.
at the
Okay.
number of $110,000
Wow.
of coaching.
Okay.
And I think a lot of people want others to take them serious. A lot of people want others to not ask them for discounts or special rates. But if people are asking you that, chances are is you are that person. You're the type of person who wants a discount. You're the type of person who doesn't invest in yourself. And then those same people are it's like they're surprised that they're getting who they are in business. And if you want to distinguish yourself in the marketplace, then just be the fastest at killing all ignorance. Like whatever you're experiencing in life is a direct result of what you know and what you don't know. And the sooner you get the information of the things you don't know, the faster you get to implement things and experience the benefits of what you now know. Yeah. I found that getting in rooms with other high-level thinkers allows you to get insights and nuggets. And honestly, my investment in myself through Myron's coaching, I would say directly has paid off into over $4 million in business over the last couple of years. Would you trade $110,000 for that?
In a heartbeat.
And how many times did you make that trade?
1,000,000 times.
And then if you did not have the money to do it, what would you do knowing that offer was on the table?
I would call everyone I know that I think has money, or
Yeah.
I'd go to the bank and ask for a loan because I know I'm going to make $4 million so I can pay that loan back in no time.
The thing is we just think about what's the worst that can happen.
Absolutely.
So I just came back from Boise. I'm also in Russell Brunson's mastermind. Okay. Dude, I got an unlock that's going to make at least $1 million this year without any effort. Like, I won't have to lift a finger, and the outcome the person's going to get is 1,000x.
Fire.
And it was all from a hallway conversation. It wasn't even from a presentation.
Or Russell at all.
No, it wasn't even Russell. It was my friend Richmond, who went from $3 million to $10 million last year. And he's like, dude, I went to $10 million last year without spending more in ads, without making more hires. I actually did it by leveraging my AI chatbot. And I was like, dude, I have an AI chatbot. He's like, yeah, but... And then he gave me the game.
Right.
I came home, met with my COO, and I was like, we have a new offer. And this offer it's unreal, like, honestly.
That's so dope.
Yeah.
That's awesome. The moment that you gave the Shredderator, man, the Rolex on stage, what was that moment like for you to be able to present him something so special and meaningful like that?
Dude, ask him. Don't ask me. No, I'm just kidding. No, I honestly realized that, dude, no one is self-made.
Fire.
If anyone claims to be self-made in any capacity, you're delulu. And the reality is, even if you're doing everything you're doing alone in business, there were people that spoke life into you along the way. There were haters that doubted you along the way. There was a spouse that said, go, babe, go for it. There was a best friend who said, dude, you'll succeed. And when it comes to building any kind of business worthwhile, there's no way it could be done alone. And I'm a product of the people around me. And, when I set out, before I even had full-blown clarity, Art was like, do whatever you need. I'm here for it, and I underpaid the crap out of him. And it's because I myself wasn't big enough to even see the value that he had to offer. And so, yeah, journeying through the years and seeing how the podcast we have, the department, has really blessed an industry. And he's been behind every single episode. And we were celebrating our 100th episode, I think, as a small token of my appreciation. Yeah. I got him a nice little Yachty Master. Yes, sir. And I also got my wife a vintage Date Just. And no, I mean, dude, it's such a small thank you in comparison to what the future holds for what we're gonna build together. And also, you still got to say thank you.
Yeah. Right on.
Like
No.
it's like, dude, I got you a watch, bro. I don't have to say thank you anymore. And he's like,
Right.
nah, bro, you gotta freaking say thanks for doing that.
Straight up.
But no, dude, I'm a gifts guy. That's like my love language.
Right.
So selfishly, I wanted him to love him the way I wanted to be loved.
That's right.
Which is a wink, wink. Like if you want to hook me up, buy me a watch.
Easy as that, dude.
No. Dude, I'm watched out, low key.
Yeah, no, it's cool.
Yeah.
I was there actually to see Alicia Little, so I saw the presentation and I was just like, whoa, not just like the item. Do you know what I mean? I understood the story behind the magnitude of like the gift of all of the hard work, the labor of love. We're in this together. And obviously, I consume a lot of you guys' content.
Yeah.
So just when you're doing your solo episodes, how important he is, you know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
he's right there answering questions too and gives you a different look and a different perspective. Because like you've been saying, you're so close to it. He's not.
Dude,
You know
it's
what I
so funny because like, the role Art plays on the podcast is I talk about he's the audience advocate.
Yeah.
When I have someone else on the podcast and I'm playing that role, I'm the one trying to think through like, okay, what about this? What about that? And what we did not realize is how his own brand just being within my brand would elevate his. And like now when we go on a trip and I need him to do Shredditor stuff, he like can't because people want to take selfies of him. And that happened last year. We went to Podcast Summit and it was just funny. I was like, dang, we're in a new era.
Yeah.
Because the brand's within the brand, bro.
No doubt.
They're leveled up, and that actually caused us. We hired another Shredditor.
Wow. Okay.
I kind of had to, but I love it. I love it for him because the ladies love him too.
No, dude, like I told you when we met outside, I was like, I'm super ecstatic to meet you, but I'm not gonna lie, dude. Our MP4 to me in my house is a legend. Like my
Yeah.
daughter really likes seeing solo episodes like of MP4 because he's just like, I don't know what it is about him. I think it's like the relatability because he's not as big of a personality as you or like the aura of you.
He's got aura.
Yeah.
I'm
No.
just
He
kidding.
definitely
I'm
has
just
aura.
kidding.
I saw a man do an Iron Man and like next level. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I didn't know he was a top athlete, but now the world knows that as well. You know what I mean?
No,
So,
no, dude, it's
MP4 is
really
the
cool.
man.
Honestly, it blesses me to know. We talk about it. I'm like, dude, you want to know how I have a strong personal brand? It's not just that people talk about my name. It's that people talk about people I'm connected to.
Facts.
And I have a word tattooed. I think this is my second tattoo. I have the word "and" on my wrist.
Okay.
And that's because one of my friends, Dan Fernan, who taught me about biblical interpretation in like 2014, 15. One of his theses that he wrote for his master's program in biblical studies was that everyone in scripture that did anything significant was connected to somebody else.
Absolutely.
It was Jesus and the disciples.
Mhm.
It was Paul and Timothy.
Right.
It was Mary and Martha. It was Abraham and Sarai. Like no one did. If you want to do anything significant in your life, you have to consider who you're doing it with because isolation is the enemy's playground.
So good.
Yeah.
All right. So now let's actually, what people I think came here for, to learn how to build their brand, man. Let's say someone wants to not only get stuck in their niche, but they want to grow their brand just overall bigger. What type of content or what should like the content mix look like to expand their brand and not just get stuck in I'm just this?
Yeah. Dude, you know what's funny is I want to answer that question,
Sure.
but I want to address where that question comes from because a lot of times people are jumping ahead of the gun and not really allowing themselves to see it practically. Okay. It's a very selfish thing to want to be a generalist and make a lot of money.
Yeah.
It's just, and I say it's selfish because usually it comes from a place of, I love coffee and fashion and vintage clothes and videos and I don't know, tiny objects. And that's what I want to build my brand about. And that's cool. And you can do that. But even with, especially even with AI, one of the principles that still persists is that the riches are in the niches. And when somebody asks a question like you just asked, like, hey, what kinds of content, how much should I share this personal life, professional things, because I don't want to box myself in. Well, the first thing is like, what's the objective? Because if you don't identify your objective or your reason for doing something, a lot of times it can waste the efforts that you're going to put in, which is why most people try and they quit. But I found that the reason why most people quit posting content online after giving it an effort is simply because they didn't make money.
100%.
That's it.
Yeah.
Like, if you made more money, would you care if you grew your audience?
Mm-mm.
If you made more money, would you care if you went viral?
Not at all.
Okay, so let's just like table wanting to go viral, wanting to have a huge audience off the side, and like let's figure out how you're going to make money. Okay. Now, in order for you to make money, you need to be known for something. And so I think it's actually important to know exactly what you sell and or what you want to help people with. So let's start with the monetization thing first. Like, what's your core offer? Because I made it to my first million with one offer.
Yeah.
And I found if you have a really good offer, dude, you can build the content system around that offer and make a lot of money part-time, which is what people genuinely actually want. Right. So identify what is it that you want to help people with. If you love all those things, what out of those things would people actually pay for?
Mm-hmm.
What are people already paying for, And so that's something to consider. And that's why I love helping business owners. Most people that don't already have a business, they overthink everything when it comes to content because they don't have a business, which means they don't have employees, which means the employees aren't waiting for you to make a call, and you're just going to be in your head about everything. But if you know what the offer is, then you can go out from there. So I would ask the question back, what's your objective? And if it's make money, it's like, what do you want to sell? Okay, let's just pick something. Let's just pick something.
Yeah.
What's some? Yeah.
Credit repair.
I want to help people with their credit.
Yeah.
Beautiful. What do people? How should people see me if I'm going to help them with their money? They probably need to see me as like a finance person.
Right.
Okay, so let's make our personal brand about financial literacy. That will be the umbrella that we live under with the content we're producing. Okay. Now, I don't want to just talk about money. I never said you have to just talk about money. Yeah. I'm saying that the primary emphasis of what you do is financial literacy. Under financial literacy, we have real estate, we have budgeting, we have marriage, we have investing. Like there's just like now it's like there's not enough to cover. I mean, you could cover things forever. And this is why I teach through a 3-pillar system. It's unlock infinite content, usher into an intimate conversion event, and then uncover your irresistible offer. Unlocking infinite content. We just unlocked infinite content because you've laser focused. Yep. And if you share financial literacy advice, doing what you like at the coffee shop, at the thrift store, now you're integrating your interests into the thing you want to be known for.
Fire.
Your interests and your passions that sit outside of your niche are all just connection points. If we're literally looking at this like a business, as we should, because if not, I feel like we'd be wasting our time. If it's a creative outlet, go do whatever you want.
Have fun.
But it could be a creative outlet and a service machine at the same time. So if we look at it like a business, when I share things about what I'm an expert in on the golf course, that creates a connection point with people who like to golf or know somebody who golfs, or maybe has a dad who loved to golf. And like, it's just a small connection point. When I share things about my expertise while hanging out with my daughter, it's communicating that I'm a father and I love my family and I'm raising my kids well. And like all these things, when I share, my expertise around scriptures and even include scriptures, it shows that I have a faith element. These things are simply connection points. And I found that these connection points are what initiates conversations. And if you learn sales, which is a huge journey I've been on over the last few years, is you realize that all sales comes from conversations. Right. It's just a culmination of initiated conversations. The person who's able to initiate more conversations as a byproduct will in turn make more money. It's just numbers. It's math.
Inevitable.
Yeah. So, I mean, but that's how we do it. So if we're starting from scratch, focus on what you want to sell. Who do you have to be or who you have to be known for? and then start staying in within that umbrella, and don't deviate, because when you confuse, you lose.
Yeah.
If people don't know what it is you do you think they're going to be confident and comfortable enough to give you money?
Not at all.
If it's about building trust online, then we are highly incentivized as business owners and CEOs to stay in our lane and talk about the things that will help the people. And that is what the content is doing. It's supposed to build trust on automation. And so if I'm all over the place, it's going to be very hard to trust me.
So for like that individual, would you say don't chase going viral or chase the trends and do stuff that makes you look dumb online because you're trying to come off and portray as a financial consultant and people have to give you their social, their birth certificate, their credit card. Like, don't go jump over a car or hit yourself with a rock for maxing.
Dude, 100. My thing with viral is, number one, if somebody's selling you a concept of virality, I would run. The worst, you know what's worse than going viral?
Not going viral?
No, it's going viral for the wrong reasons.
Oh, okay.
It's going viral, riding a skateboard, drinking a cranberry juice to Fleetwood Mac or whoever.
Yeah.
And then wondering like how I'm going to monetize. And that's what people think. They start the other direction. They're like, let me go viral and then try to make money. Like, if you want to make serious money with content, you don't get paid for just posting content. Okay. You get paid for what you do with the content you post. And I get it a lot. A lot of people, it happens. It's like, oh, dude, I posted this thing and it went viral. Like, what do I do now?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, because you didn't lay the foundation first. If you laid the foundation, then maybe when you go viral, for you, by the way, there's a viral for me. There's a viral for you. Meaning, if you're a financial advisor and you talk about the real estate market and you get 1 million views on that video, wouldn't that serve your business?
That's who you are now. Yeah.
Yeah. So my thing is just like, don't make viral the goal. And the reason why I say run from people that try to sell you virality is because if you have to build something through virality, it means that's how you're going to have to sustain it.
Oh, okay.
And that sounds exhausting.
Yeah, it's too hard.
I'd rather build on something sustainable so I can do it for a long period of time. And if principles are true, then he who is skilled in his work will sit amongst kings. Mm-hmm. That if I just lock in and I just stay in that one lane, it'll create the opportunity, because long-term intentional consistency leads to indirect opportunity. If I just have a viral moment, pop flash, that might not create the opportunities I need in life to like feed my kids and build wealth, right? So my thing is, play the long game. If you're going to do content, play the long game. And even when it comes to brand, you cannot build a brand overnight. Mm-hmm. You build it over time. And if anyone thinks that going viral is going to build your personal brand, I would say no. Saying I've been following you for a very long time, that's personal brand. Coming to the studio and the owner saying, dude, 9 out of 10 people mention your name. Right. That's a personal brand. But that comes over time. That came from showing up. I've amassed over 3 million subscribers online on YouTube and 80 million views from long form content. And you can't get there unless you become the person and you just chip away at the work, like, I don't know. Sorry, I'm not giving like the viral 1, 2, 3, but the reality is real life.
Yeah.
And I don't know if most people who think they want to go viral really need to go viral.
Yeah. And also, like, the moments that you normally do go viral, it's a bad moment.
Yeah.
So you're absolutely right. It shouldn't be something that you chase or try to prepare for or shoot for, because you don't want to be known for that.
100. And the way I see content, brand, audience, online business is like the goal is to grow the floor.
Okay.
The goal is to grow the people that are in your world or love to be in your world. So if we start from 0 and we post consistently and we get a viral video at 10,000, maybe now we have 150 people on our floor. Okay. And so I have a new floor now. And then if I'm staying consistent, boom, I'm going to get another viral video. Now I have a new floor. Now there's 500 people that listen to the podcast every week. And then we keep going. We keep chipping along. Boom, I have a breakthrough podcast. Now our floor is 5,000. Yeah. And so I'm not concerned with the peak. I'm actually concerned with the floor, and I'm consistent to grow the floor of the audience as opposed to the peak of the audience.
Such a good perspective. Just
Yeah.
flip everything on its head.
That's
Awesome.
what Jesus did, bro. So I'm out here doing Jesus work.
There it is. Easy as that.
Yeah.
Is like SEO, SSO stuff, optimization important? And I'm honestly asking you in like a selfish
For sure.
question. Now starting this, I'm getting hit up all the time by these random people. They can see it's slowly growing. So they see an opportunity, right? Like, hey, I can help you so much. You're missing this opportunity here. Here, I'll get you 50,000 new.
Yeah.
You need to optimize this. And they do like a free audit or something. Does that stuff actually matter? Is it actually important? Or can I just ask ChatGPT and it'll give me some SEO tags that'll bump it a little bit in the algorithm?
Yeah. I mean, SEO or search engine optimization, in my opinion, it isn't as important or impactful as it used to be. I think what's more important or impactful is how long can you stay on topic. And I say that because even with, would it be AIO, AI optimization, that like I think I come up in search. If you search in ChatGPT or in AI, like who are the top content coaches and experts or personal brand experts, I'm on that list. Right. I never intended to be on that list. I just stayed in my lane and I stayed in my niche. And so that would be the only approach I would say would optimize for search or to show up in, AI and things like that. If you have a podcast like yours or like mine, where we kind of cover a myriad of things, I still stay under the umbrella of business. Right. In many cases. But dude, I'll upload an outlier. I uploaded a video with my marriage counselor. Yeah. I uploaded a video talking about the grief of my, of loss of my father. So like I will do that to go deep with my audience, not to go wide. But at the end of the day, it's the work that you put out there stacked up all against itself. What's clear about that picture? And so yeah, I mean, as far as like tagging videos, I don't know if that's a thing anymore. I think keywords are important. Like if you use keywords in your title and you say it in the intro and you're talking about the one thing, then you're letting the internet know that, and that does work. So if you search on Instagram or you search on Google or AI and you search like signature presentation, masterclass, web class, I also come up because I've had a lot of conversations about those things. So, but I'm not trying to over optimize. If over optimizing is preventing you from taking the action you need to take, then really the goal is to just show up consistently.
That's it.
Yeah.
What did you mean when you said the goal for those ones was to go deeper and not go wider?
Yeah.
You mean like humanize you and not look as like a coach or a mentor, like I'm actually Omar and I have feelings?
Yeah, bro. I want to make sure. Well, yeah, I think brand in many cases is also, it's not just being known for the expertise, but being known for what you stand for and what you don't stand for, who you're against, who you're for. Like those things are just as important. And so whenever there's an opportunity to share like an opinion, an observation, maybe if it's a little left field, I think it's worth going for. The bigger your audience, the more people want to hear it. So I'm not saying like if you're just starting out and you're like, dude, freaking Trump and these freaking wars, bro. Like, I don't know.
It might go viral.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. But again, it goes back to like, will this serve the business?
Right.
And yeah, in this trust recession, I found that authenticity will prevail because attention is commoditized. AI can generate videos and images and captions and all those things and grab attention if you post those things. But what AI can't do is post a photo of my kids at the park. What AI can't do is show the behind the scenes of the studio in real time while we're on stories. What AI can't do is share what's on my mind right now. What AI can't do is create a principle from a story that you choose to convey based on a presentation you're working on. So authenticity is if you allow yourself to be as authentic as possible, it'll cut through the noise. It may not break through, but it'll cut through the noise. And of the people that watch, the connection you built with them, that it's going to be, you know, something that you can't really quantify. And so when I say go make a brand play that goes deep as opposed to wide, yeah, it's just like it's less teachy and me being whatever you thought of me, and I want to come down at your level, which is something I've learned in preaching. You know, when you stand up on stage in a church with a mic and a Bible, every guy there crosses their arms and so like, man, what with this guy what is this guy got to say, man? I mean, I'm out here like, and the reality is, it's my job as a communicator to tell you, bro, I'm just as jacked up. Like, bro, I just fought with my wife last night, bro. You know, I slept on the couch last night, dog.
I was just about to say, except for when Pastor Jabin gets on there, because he's like, no, I want you to hear me, and we're going to talk about heaven and hell, and if this makes you uncomfortable, you could leave.
Yeah.
That was the one, I've never actually heard a pastor talk to me like that direct, and I was like, oh, this dude is different. Mm-hmm. I want to hear what he has to say. So it made me come in more, which was a weird thing for me, but it worked in my head. Like, he doesn't shy away from it and tells you the real deal. So I like it.
Yeah. I'm so grateful for his, you know, his pastoral leadership over my life. He's helped me uncover my voice, because I don't like to say find my voice, because we all have our voice. It's ours. Yeah. But the reason why we have a hard time tapping into it is because we have so much influence and we have so much comparison. And so we're like, man, I love how that person sounds and I love how they say it and I love it. But then we don't find our voice. We actually uncover it, because if we remove those things, you actually like find who you really are. And that's where security is. That's where confidence is. And I just found that I'm truly like a teacher.
Yeah.
I'm not really, I wouldn't say I'm a preacher first. I'm probably a teacher first, preacher second in that regard. But he's been huge in helping me find that.
Absolutely. There was something that I noticed, like, about the way that you used to post and upload videos to what's changed now. And I was interested in, like, did you do that intentionally? Are you testing something? But you used to post with sitting with your guest, and it would be the title, and then featuring whoever they are. You no longer do that and put like featuring the guest person. It's just like whatever.
We're talking YouTube when I upload a conversation. Yeah, no, that's a great question. First, I'll say, dude, the tests never stop running.
For sure.
Like if you call yourself a marketer, if you call yourself a business owner, you understand that you are always testing. Nothing is solidified. This is why we can't overthink, because we need to actually get the data. Something I found was oftentimes the guests themselves don't really have, their names don't have weight or pull. And so by always putting their name, that takes up digital real estate in the title. And we tested a few podcasts with people as guests and didn't put their name. Maybe we put their face in the thumbnail, or even it was just my face and not their face. And we found that performed better. And I believe it performed better because we were playing the rules of YouTube and not really playing like YouTube from our point of view.
Right.
So what I found that the most of the time, you know, if there's a well-known guest that I have on, I'll definitely, you know, put their name in the title. But most of the time, the idea will always be bigger than the person. And that's how, when I showed that example with David Shands, it was a podcast I did with Russell Brunson, and my friend Ryan made a podcast around Russell the person. Yep. And then I made a podcast or YouTube video around the idea of making money with your expertise, how to make money online.
Yeah.
How to make money online, Russell Brunson. Right. Which one has more wide appeal? Making money online. Now, I introduce people to Russell Brunson, even though he's a legend. I've introduced people to Myron Golden, even though his audience is bigger than mine. The reality is the world is big, and the person is never bigger than the idea. So what I do really well is I will package an expert around the desire that people have, and that will proceed using their names. Got it. Most of the time. Yeah. Obviously, if I have Joe Rogan, I can just be like, the show with Joe Rogan, period, you know?
Yeah.
But even then, I would still try to probably optimize that video for the right reason.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask, because I've seen you say this a few different times, dude, and it's hard for me because my brain doesn't work that way. How do you create the title first and then the episode? Because I feel myself, I do the episode, I talk with my guest, and then I come up with ideas of like, this is what this episode was featuring. Because sometimes we go off on tangents and it
Right.
goes left. How do you figure out, or how do you, I guess, control the episode to make that make sense for the title first?
Yeah. No, it's a very good question, and it really is just unique to podcasting. Well, first, I think it's just defining what the objective of the podcast is. I've decided that the objective of my podcast is going to be course conversations.
Okay.
Courses like who, what, where, when, why, about the thing. So like, what is the thing? And that thing should drive the North Star of the conversation. Every conversation I have has a North Star. And so I may not always have the perfect title dialed, but I do know I have the North Star decided. And by attacking that North Star first, this is what it's also done. I've given myself the permission to have people back. It's like I don't think to myself, wow, I got this opportunity with this individual. My version of maximizing this is having a general conversation with this person. I would argue, I would just tell your brain, could you come back next year?
Okay.
Can you come back 6 months from now? The chances are is not only would people maybe want to see this person back, they might have not saw the first one. So like
Right.
in my mind, and this is where I really set people free, because if I tell you to upload a long form piece of content once a week for an entire year and it'll change your life forever.
You still believe that?
I still believe that. Yeah.
Okay.
That if you had do you have 10 people in your world where you can shoot 2 podcast episodes with?
A week or in general?
No, in a year.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's 20 uploads.
Oh,
All right,
okay.
so now we're at 32. Do you have 12 in you, you can just deliver 12 episodes once a month? Do a podcast with just solo you, maybe you have a co-host. That's 12. Can you do that?
I can do that.
Okay, so now let's just keep the rest open, whatever that number is. I forgot my math. That's 32. Let's keep the 15 to 18. Let's leave that open to serendipity and opportunity, like today.
Yeah.
Right? But if you're like, dude, you want to come back in 6 months from now, you live in Las Vegas, I'd come back in 6 months.
Fire.
So so that should give you the permission as a co-host to let's just focus on the content stuff, and maybe in October we could talk about making money.
Yeah.
Now I understand the nature and the art of a conversation. It can bleed, but as a host, I do want to keep it there until we get past a certain threat. When I feel like we hit it,
Yeah.
then it's like, why is family so important to you? Well, and here's what's powerful about that. The expert or the guest would have earned the right for someone to even care about why family is important to them.
Absolutely.
And so Art asked me a question, and we put it on stories today, on our way here. He's like, what makes a good podcast host? And my answer was, a host that doesn't make it about me, even though they probably want to, but they make it about the audience. And so instead of saying hey, so how did you get started, or tell me about yourself, dude, your audience doesn't know probably who I am. What they know though is the problems they're facing right now, the obstacles, the pains, the limiting beliefs. That's what they care about. And so, yeah, my friend Sean Cannell, who would say the creator who understands the viewer best wins. And that really comes from an audience first mentality. And it's given me the permission to have people on multiple times, which honestly, that's why I don't sweat for guests, because if it'll happen, it'll happen. If I'm not mistaken, I think next week we got 3 podcasts in that week to shoot. And that just happened through, I don't have a crazy podcast guest strategy. No, it's just relationship. If you're in town, if I'm in town, we go on a business trip, I'll shoulder tap a friend. Be like, can you talk, hey, Richmond, can you talk about how you used AI? Richmond's not the AI guy, but he used AI in his business. Let's just make a conversation, because the idea precedes the person.
Gotcha.
Or the idea is bigger than the person. So I know that was a long-winded way to say why I don't put the names in the titles, but also the packaging kind of skill, you know?
And it circled back to kind of like, don't chase virality, just
Yeah.
like make it about your guest. It's the conversation is much bigger than the person.
Yeah.
You want to know something kind of funny? I told my closest friends, my wife, obviously, and family members, I get the opportunity, I get Omar on Friday. What would you like me to ask him? And I'm expecting like coaching. How do I do this? I want to start a YouTube channel. How do I become great? Give me 90 days strategy, 0 to 100,000. That's what I expected. That's not what I got. Like people wanted to know like you, your wife, your weight loss journey, like dressing differently. Do you know what I mean? I was like, wow, okay. When I look at you, I don't think that because I put you on a different pedestal, I guess. And I just thought it was really funny. Like you don't, like you were saying, like know your audience. You don't truly know unless you ask them.
No, 100. And you asked people who follow me on Instagram closely.
Right.
I always see uploading content on YouTube as a means to meet somebody new.
Dope.
So it would be more in like it would be more of like in the area of this idea. What questions do you have about this idea?
Yeah.
But yeah, that would come from a standpoint of like building a podcast around a person. And I genuinely don't think I'm anything special, like genuinely. And so that's why I'm like in my mind, I kind of overanalyze maybe even the practicality and the logical nature of like showing up, you know?
Yeah. But let's just say that you did have someone in front of you who wanted to sit down mentorship and they were like, I want to generate and create and start a YouTube channel from 0 to 100,000. I have 90 days. Is it possible? And if so, what would be my strategy to go forth and conquer?
Dude, great question. The first thing I would say is why?
Make money.
Okay, so if it's about making money, let's have a different conversation. Okay. But the other thing too is I always like want to make sure that we don't make outcome goals that are outside of our abilities.
Meaning what exactly?
Like,
it's like
I want 100,000 subscribers in 90 days is an outcome goal.
Oh, okay.
I actually have people focus on outputs, not outcomes.
Okay.
Because our goal is to do what we're supposed to do, and I would say then trust God with the outcomes. Now, if you want 100,000 subscribers or you want $100,000, those are two different goals.
Absolutely.
So which one do you truly want?
Gotcha.
Because if it's about $100,000,
you don't need 100,000 subscribers.
No.
No.
And also, you don't need YouTube.
Right.
So we could run ads on Instagram to a VSL that books a call to a very specific person with a very specific problem, to a video that solidifies that you're the person that can help them, and lock them in for a 5K offer. You do 20 of those. I think you can do 20 of those in 90 days.
Absolutely.
You just maybe have to front 20 grand in ad spend to make the 100K. Are you willing to do that?
Right.
So it's really that easy.
It is.
But I also I don't sell false hope in the fact that if I got 100,000 subscribers, if I made that the goal, I promise by day 91, you're going to be like, cool. Now what?
Yeah.
So yeah. And so that's why like the why question is so important to answer, because it really gets you thinking, because like you really could make $100,000 in 90 days with paid ads to a system. But then, you know, so this is where I've even like tapped into a level of money that I'm like, even when like you make your first $1 million in business, you don't even realize when you make it. No one ever knew when they made their first $1 million in business.
Not gonna happen.
Because it happened messy.
Mm-hmm. And so much was going out.
So much was going on. You had gross income, you got net income, I mean, it's just, it's all over the place. Right. It isn't till you're like above the sea level of $1 million in net worth where you realize you're like, oh, babe, we're millionaires, you know? But like, and which is so funny because everyone's chasing a millionaire, or not chasing a millionaire. Everyone's chasing becoming a millionaire, or they're chasing, you know, 6 figures in business and multiple 6 figures. And those are all amazing things, because like money's amazing. It really does help. When people say money doesn't make you happy. It's like, dude, you haven't given enough away. Money does make you happy.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I just, let's go big picture. Let's talk about like, what's the reason why you really want to do this? And because that's why I only want to work with serious individuals, not speculative or shiny object. Most people, even when they get the money, you'd be surprised. I paid $50,000 to be in certain masterminds, and the one I just came back from, the amount of people that want to start over and start something from scratch, I'm like, what are you doing?
Terrible.
But you would think at a 50K level or a 50K buy-in that they are so clear at what they're wanting to do. But could it be that they started chasing the wrong thing to begin with?
Do you now have this perspective because you've coached so many people, or have you always had this and now you're at this level to think this way?
Dude, I mean, I think it's a mixture of my journey, my love for the Word of God, and coaching. I mean, I think over the last 3.5 years, we've probably seen 400 to 500 entrepreneurs come through our coaching. Currently at 200 something, and I get a front row seat to a lot of people's life, different industries, different seasons. Some people breaking through financially, other people breaking through with confidence, other people breaking through with clarity, and so I think I spent my 20s really just building other people's empires, and then when I felt like it was my time to not even build I don't even see it like I'm building my empire, because my business is all serving other people. As far as the employees we pay, the contractors we work with, and even the disposition of the free content. It's like I put so much money in getting free content to you. We just did a web class right before this.
Right.
I put 20 grand in ads.
Yeah, I get those text messages every week.
Yeah.
So I thought it was different because I got it on a Friday. I'm used to it on a Thursday.
Yeah, we moved it to Fridays, but we got 60 something. We made like 30 grand before we came here. Fire. But I also had to pay money to get in front of those people. Yeah. And I pay money to get in front of those people to hop on Zoom to teach them something. It's like, it's crazy. Yeah. But you are rewarded for the amount of value you bring to the marketplace. And so if you want to make more money, then you just have to increase your value. You have to increase the value you bring to a space or industry. And that's where the correlation changes. But I feel like I've thought this way the reason I got to the place where I can think this way was probably exposure, having a servant's heart, and maybe a leader's responsibility. I don't know. I've always been a leader. I got married young. That'll grow you up. Yeah. But
went to the military. That'll grow you up.
Yeah. Was in the army. That'll grow you up. Yeah. So I think it's a mixture of my experiences that made me like that. But I live by principle, not by theory. And I think a lot of that gives me a level of peace. And I also know what I want. I think a lot of people, it's kind of like there's a story in scriptures in the New Testament where this father wants his daughter to be healed, and he goes to Jesus, and Jesus says, "What do you want?" Like as if like Jesus is, being offensive in that question, because it's like, no, but like,
what do you want?
Some people don't know what they want, really, truly, and so we spend our life chasing the wrong stuff, and then we get to a place where like, dang, I don't even want this stuff. I want to pivot industries. I want to change my profession. It's like, it's because you didn't even identify what winning looked like, or the winning wasn't a strong enough reason. When I ask people, hey, why do you want to build your personal brand? And they're like, to make $100,000. I'm like, that just solves your problem. Yeah. But I want to create a life of peace for my family. And that's why I'm not like so shiny object syndrome with even new opportunity, because if it compromises my peace, then it kills every reason why we're doing what we're doing to begin with.
Made it all worthless.
Yeah. Yeah. And peace, they say peace is the greatest profit.
100%.
And most of us are chasing profit when really we're all chasing peace. And there is a sweet spot for you to actually unlock that level of peace, whether it's financially, relationally, spiritually. But once you have that peace that the Bible talks about, peace that surpasses all understanding, dude, it will help you make more money because I got an energy that I don't need, and I don't need your business.
I can't be bought.
Yeah, you know, it's like, dude, we're doing this thing. You could join or you cannot.
Right.
You know, so yeah.
Got you. Over the time of like your brand growing and being more recognizable, like we said, 9 out of 10 people that come here, they're like, "Yo, do you know Omar?" Do you feel like you've changed? And I know obviously you could look at your old thumbnails to a year to look at you now. You know what I mean? You lost a bunch of weight. Art is over here competing and doing Ironmans.
Ironmans plural.
Yeah, Ironmans. I think the Pops was out there too doing it or something like that. Like amazing things. I know your wife completed her first High Rocks this year.
Yeah.
So it was like the goal of 2026, like fitness and like you guys coming in as a team, like we are going to focus on this, or was it just a byproduct of finding peace?
Dude, honestly, I was in freaking Cancun. I stepped on a scale and it said 200. I was like, I've never been 200 in my life.
Okay.
And for me, that was it.
Yeah.
But in that, my wife started her fitness journey early 2025, and yeah, no, she locked in. You know, she goes to the gym 4 or 5 days a week, takes a class. She's been eating right, and like I think a part of that is also I felt convicted a little bit to just get my health right.
Right.
And honestly, you know, I would unbutton the top button of my pants when I sit down, and I would wear very boxy shirts. And
your style has changed. I'll tell you that. Like,
thanks.
Yeah, your swag. You used to wear just like the
I used to wear the hat a lot.
Yeah, that's
but
gone.
I kind of elevate, you know, just trying to step into my like Americana, like, you know, man vibes. Like I'm out here for business.
Timberlake.
Yeah. But yeah, I didn't realize that losing weight would make me more money. And it's because in the game of sales, if you have a business and you're unhealthy, you don't even need a new business strategy. If you get your health in order, you will, as a byproduct of feeling good, you will make more money because your energy and confidence will change in the rooms you walk in the stages you stand on, in the videos you create. They say that sales is a transference of energy. And what we don't realize is when we're carrying excess weight, like literally excess weight pounds, we're also killing a level of our confidence, and it doesn't allow us to give off the energy that people are looking for. And people want to trust us. Like people are in despair. People are in their they're experiencing the same cycles of life. They're struggling with the thing that your solution solves. And I've heard it say by Ed Milet that people don't need to believe what you're saying. They need to believe that you believe what you're saying. Right. And I don't think it was an accident that I lost 25 pounds and then I did our next challenge. And usually we were making about $400,000 every time we would do a challenge. But specifically that challenge we did in September, we did $722,000 in a day. And I would attest a lot of that increase that came from a subconscious confidence that came with getting my health in order.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I know, I think I saw Andrew Tate doesn't say it as pretty as like Ed Milet. It's just like, if you're fat, I'm not going to trust you with my money. Like, we don't even need to talk. I don't care if you're the expert.
Yeah.
I'm just not going to do it.
Yeah, and you got to do a lot more other things to kind of woo somebody into a sale. But yeah, if you looking the part is half the battle.
For sure.
And so if you don't look the part, you got 100% to make up for. Yeah, and
that's hard.
I never thought that fitness would be a huge component to business success, but it's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who would you say has like been your favorite guest or your most impactful guest on your podcast? If it's business, personal, I know you did one obviously with your therapist, with your wife.
Yeah.
Who would that be for you?
Dang, who would be the most impactful podcast?
Exclude art.
I know. But I was thinking, like, what's funny is like, dude, so much of the podcast, it's like as you can imagine, it's the conversations that happen before and after.
Amen.
And when I think about, well, I would say like on a relationship level, you know, the one that comes to mind, honestly, right now is Richmond. Okay. Richmond paid me to be on the podcast. And I do those a few times a year. People pay $20,000 to be guests on my podcast. You wouldn't know which ones unless I told you.
Yeah.
And it's because I say no to 90% of the requests.
Wow.
But I align with what Richmond teaches. He valued the opportunity and the platform, and he ends up, paying the fee, and he hops on, and he teaches something that I believe anyone could implement to start an online business, like anyone.
Which is what?
Is implement a tiny challenge in your business. A tiny challenge is simply a series of calls. You don't need a CRM system. You don't need a website. You can literally text people, hey, I remember you telling me you needed help with this. I'm doing this thing where I'm working with people for 3 consecutive days or 5 consecutive days. We just hop on Zoom and we unpack each problem every day. Are you down to do that?
Yeah.
Let's go. You could do it on FaceTime. You don't even need Zoom.
Yeah.
And he said, what's cool about this is the show up rate is usually 100%. The conversion rate is usually 100%. And so if you have like a really good offer at the end of it, which simply the offer is just sell them more of the same thing. Hey, well, you want to keep this going? Let's just do this for 6 months, once a week. Do you believe it will help you get closer to that goal? 100%. Like, look how much we accomplished in 5 days. And he's like, dude, anyone could do this. So that's what he teaches, tiny challenges. But what's cool is we ended up golfing the next day. And then the amount of game he gave me just while we were golfing, I was like, dude, this is so good. I would even say the game has already translated into business, because he was talking to me about closing people in the DMs, and we've done 100, like in the last 2 weeks, we've done 120K in the DMs.
Wow.
No paid ads, just running a story sequence. And then someone on my team just, getting on a call with people, paid in full, 25K, like straight up.
So good.
So we go golfing, and then he comes back to Vegas to run a mastermind that he does. And he asked me to be a guest speaker. And I asked him, let's just do a podcast. So and he didn't, I'm not having him pay again, because we built the relationship. And part of why paying to get in the rooms is important, because sometimes you pay the cost up front, but what you get could be a relationship.
Absolutely.
They say you can't buy your friends, but you kind of can in business,
Yeah.
And it's a friendly thing to buy your friend's offer if it will help you. And so, yeah, we end up, and we just stay connected, honestly. And I would say Richmond has given me more insight with just little gems and just the relationship and knowing who he is. And I would say that's the one that comes to mind, which is kind of left field. Probably Art's like, what? That I thought it'd be like Myron. I don't know, but why did I say it like that? But yeah, I think that one comes to mind, because and probably just because I texted him yesterday. But yeah,
makes sense. I would have guessed Marcus, just because you've had him like so many times. So to me, if I'm just looking at your channel, that's who I would.
Yeah, dude, what's cool about Marcus is, he's become a friend. We've wanted to do like an event together. It's just hard to make it work out. But no, he's somebody that we have very similar journeys and experiences, and it's very you meet a few people in business that that do exceed the money thing, and or even just the concept of business, like just real life conversations and things like that. Marcus would be a one up there too, for sure.
What do you say to like the person who's stuck in, I'm ready to launch, or I have this idea, and he or she can't get out of their own way? What do you say to that individual of like, because it's easy to be like, just start, tomorrow's going to come, like next year's going to come anyways. You're going to be mad at yourself that you're in the same spot. But anybody could say that, you know what I mean? What do you actually say to them that you think is going to hit and actually put a boot to their butt and start, you know what I mean? Like,
dude, I would say, let's put the date on the calendar. Like legit, let's sit. Like, no, no, let's open up your phone. Let's create the Zoom link that you're going to put on your calendar, and then you're going to promote it. Yeah. You're going to promote that you're doing this thing. I think that's where it starts. My brother, who's been wanting to like help a lot of people, help young preachers preach better and more concise, sound sermons. Dude, he just made like 30 grand a couple weeks ago. Just putting the Zoom call on the calendar.
Yeah.
He didn't even know his offer. He didn't know the full, and you won't. You won't know the full thing. But if you want to launch the thing, just put the date on the calendar that you're gonna launch it. And the reason why this works is it works because Parkinson's law states whatever time you allot for any given task is how long it will take. Do you remember when we were in high school, we were given the semester essay day one.
Yeah.
But it wasn't due until
the
end.
Yeah.
But when did you do that essay?
3 days before.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
And so that it works with a lot of things in life is whatever date whatever time you allot yourself to do or execute something is how long it will actually take. But anytime you stumble on a law or a principle like that, it is in your best interest to use that to your advantage. Like use the principle to your advantage.
Yeah.
So, and here's why. I've been wanting to launch this thing. Okay, let's go 2 Saturdays from now. It's going to be the 18th. Launch it then. But I don't know what. Okay, what is it?
Right.
Did you see how just putting the date on the calendar brought up the next layer of creativity?
Mm-hmm.
That's what taking action does. So date on the calendar. Oh, but I don't know what to call it. Great, let's find out a name. But I don't know. I don't have a place. I don't have a camera. Let's find a place.
Yeah.
Let's shoot it here. And then it becomes like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I thought all that stuff. And you know what's funny about my brother making just an extra $30K a couple weeks ago was when he was actually getting on the phone with people who filled out an application after the call. He would send the Stripe link to people who said, sweet, send me the link. And they were like, bro, I can't process it. And he's like, oh shoot, why? And he's like, his Stripe was in test mode, not live mode.
Yeah.
Okay, Michael, do you see why action's so important? Because would you have ever known?
Never made money. Yeah.
Like, would you have known that Stripe had a test mode?
Mm-hmm.
No, you didn't.
Right.
So it took the cost of taking action took you sending the link to a guy to tell you, I'm in, bro, it's not working. But you were all worried about what the offer, and then I was all worried about what I was gonna say and what time of the day should I hold it? Like all those stuff you were worried about, bro. Your Stripe was in test mode. Like this is why we take action. This is why we do it. We do it for the data.
Do you also do that? Hold yourself accountable, and you don't also know who your audience is, so you need to see like who shows up or what's gonna happen.
If no one shows up,
yeah.
Okay, bro. Nobody showed up, bro.
Promote harder.
Hey, number one. Way to go. You showed up.
Dope.
Like, let's go. That's something to celebrate.
Yeah.
Now, no one showed up. Let's unpack. What did you do to get people on this call? I posted once. Sweet. Let's put a new date on the calendar.
Let's post 2 times.
Let's increase the post. Let's go live.
Yeah.
Did you text anybody? Let's text people. This time, let's get your family on the call. At least so there's somebody's on there, Oh, dude. Your web class is the generic name. It just says call April 18th webinar. Like, dude, the name of so my thing is it doesn't, the goal here's the thing. Like I always like to say that this is the least known you'll ever be. And most of the time we think that by doing something the first time that the most people will see it because it's been in our mind for so long. Right. The truth is the least amount of people will probably show up. Now, if you have a brand and you haven't actually done anything, people might show up. Like for my brother, he's just been doing what he's been doing for a long time. So he was able to get a couple hundred people on a Zoom call by just promoting it a couple times on stories. Not everyone has that luxury. And I don't even call that a luxury. He just didn't quit doing what he was doing. But if you have a brand and you do something, just do it because you're going to get even more data. But if you don't have a brand, the the repetitions will reward you eventually. I have ran the same presentation. I think today was probably my 34th time doing it, and it's the same presentation, bro. And it prints money. And I think every entrepreneur should have a signature presentation or a master class, because you could take that on a podcast, you could take that on a stage, you can do it on a Zoom call, and having a signature presentation creates the feeling in a person that they can do it with you. Whether that is buy a home, get into your coaching, level up your personal brand. It's a incredible asset that could serve you and accelerate trust too. Because I believe a Zoom call will trump trust being built far more than a YouTube video could. And that's just because there's a two-way street on a Zoom call.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, I mean, I would just, the iteration, like there's no success in business without iteration. You know, we're all on our 17th iPhone.
Right.
So just iterate, bro. That's the game.
How do you turn your audience, like from YouTube and your YouTube long form, into an actual community that's going to pay you? Like not getting monetized and getting paid from the platform. How do you actually turn them into clients?
Yeah, you turn them into clients by having a intimate conversion event. So if you're killing it on YouTube, or you in your own right, you're doing really well on YouTube, and you're like, man, I'm still not making money from this, it's probably because that conversion event, we don't own our audiences on these platforms, right, especially more than ever now. Like I'll drop a YouTube video. I got 170,000 subscribers and we'll get 1,000 views in the first day. It's like, bro, what the heck? You know, it's frustrating. But the truth is like algorithms can change in a day. And so the goal is to actually get people off platform.
So what do you mean by the intimate conversion event?
Yeah,
what is that?
The intimate conversion event is like a signature presentation, or it's a one-on-one strategy call, or it's an assessment. But getting people off the platform and creating an environment for them to see what's possible if they fix their pain points. That's how you do it. Now there's a bigger strategy at hand when you commit to posting on YouTube and social media and you build your brand. Running paid ads as your call to action will be super lucrative. Most people don't realize that, you know, the organic stuff can run out over time. And I'm a firm believer. I love organic, bro. Like, but if I only leveraged organic, I probably would max out at about 300 grand a year. Okay. But because I'm implementing paid, because I have strong organic, it allows me to grow my email list database, nurture people, and then get people into this conversion event, like my web class.
And when you're saying paid ads, you mean paid ads on short platforms like Instagram?
Yeah, and Facebook, YouTube ads, or what, you know, just showing up, like just making the invitation.
Got it.
So it's almost like your free content is building trust, and then when you show up as an ad, you're not just a rando showing up as an ad. Maybe to some you are, which what you say in those ads are very important, but brand is everything in business is downstream from brand. And if you have a strong brand, you don't need perfect ads. You need to be like, yo, it's Omar. I know you probably watched the Department podcast. I'm doing this cool class this Wednesday or this Thursday or this Friday, and I'm going to be showing you how you can build your personal brand this year. And there isn't a better time to do it than right now. Dude, that ad at $3 a lead and what a lead is simply somebody's information, is allowing me to take people off platform and then on a Zoom call, give them a transformative experience, speak life into them, speak life into their business. And then if you want to go to the next level, take the challenge, you can do that as well. If not, peace. But the amount of goodwill I just created in that individual, this is why I think business needs to be seen on a holistic level, not just the money-making level, because eventually you'll make money with the amount of impact you make. So if you get people on these calls and you sell them into the next step, and that next step might be a tiny challenge. Maybe you lead with a tiny challenge. Right. That's my thing is, if you could sponsor your own videos, and you should. I teach people to sponsor their own content with their own products and services. But you just have to know that when we watch the Super Bowl, are you going on Frito-Lay.com and buying a bag of chips?
No.
Like, no. Am I going to Dunkin' Donuts to buy a coffee right there in that moment? No. A lot of sponsoring your own content online does is it just brings awareness to what you're doing, so that when they hear it, it's not brand new or it's not foreign.
Yeah.
And most people say yes after most people give you their big yes after a series of little yeses.
What's the easiest way to build a brand other than like showing up every single week and just being consistent? Because like when I think brand, I guess let's just Dan Martell is blue shirt, right? Hormozi's wife beater acquisition nose strip, Neil black t-shirt backwards hat. But those are like attire and clothes. It's not just encompassing the brand. So what is like when you say build a brand, what all is it? And then what's the easiest way to start building it?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really important that the definition is just clear from your point of view. And like a brand isn't logos, it isn't your outfit. I don't even know if I would say even brand is recognition. I believe, I like what Rory Vaden says. He says, your personal brand is the digitization of your reputation. So it's simply you online, and what is that? Now, I think my deeper definition for brand is, what do people think and feel when they think about you? The thing is if nobody's thinking about you, then probably the brand's non-existent. But you create these feelings intentionally by deciding in advance what you want people to think. Maybe it wasn't so much a literal decision for these guys to wear the same thing all the time, but I will say they understand the power of wearing the same thing.
Absolutely.
I made a conscious decision recently to wear less hats. I used to wear my video department hat all the time.
Yeah.
But I'm going to be stuck with this face and this hair for a long time, longer than, wearing hats. So I was like, you know what? I'm making a conscious decision because I want people to see me as who I am. But as far as like, what's the feeling? The feeling and thoughts are simply like, man, that person has helped me set up my podcast studio. Dude, I bought that camera because of you. Like when it comes to Dan Martell, like, dude, I created my AI stack from your YouTube channel. Mm-hmm. Like they are going ham on AI, and that's because they're choosing to be the AI guy. Like the riches are in the niches, bro. Mm-hmm. It still doesn't change anything. Alex went wide doing his fitness stuff and this, that, and the other. And he's like, no, dude, we're going to upload business content only. And even though he may be getting less views, it's more of the right views. Yeah. And so I think at the end of the day, even with Neil, like Neil is financial literacy, but he's freaking locked in the mortgage space. Like that's just who he is. And dude, he's having the time of his life. I just was a part of his big launch. He sold out 1,000 tickets to his live event on one Zoom call.
Incredible.
That is an intimate conversion event.
Yeah.
Most people think people want whatever you're selling. Like, dude, nobody wakes up in the morning, opens Instagram, and is looking to give you money.
No.
But we think that people think that way. Yeah. But no, people do things for one reason and one reason only, because they feel like it. So you have to create the feeling in people to go to the next step with you. YouTube videos don't always create that feeling. What you say on a Zoom call, though, it can. Because if you're helping a first-time home buyer and you're like, dude, if you have $5,000 in savings, you can buy a new build with no money down. They're doing a special program. I didn't know this. Like, dude, now I feel like I can buy a home. Well, I'm so glad that you hop on this call. So putting that step in between, which I think is where the money really is. Yeah. And, with all the distractions, I think you got the more intentional you are about putting the middle step before the big ask, because if you hold off, the more patient you are in the sales process, the more you can ask for later.
Okay.
And so I would, if it really is about making money, I genuinely am sold out to this model where you have a bridge in between your content and your offer, and it's really called the customer journey. Before you jump in and buy something, you go through a series. And if you architect that for your customer, then you won't be surprised when they give you money. It's like, dude, I drew that up. I drew the play. It worked.
Yeah.
And then what's crazy is once the play works, bro, you can run that thing on and on. This is business. Business is testing different routes for people. Because you said like building a brand. Dude, we use the word build a brand because I think it's just easy to say. It rings a bell, and it's been said like that a long time. I don't think you build a brand. I think you attract a brand. Their people are already out there. They don't appear in your audience. No, they're somewhere else, and they're going somewhere else. And by sticking with the topic and sticking with the information, you start attracting people your way, and you actually attract a brand more than you build a brand.
Mm-hmm. The more and more that I'm listening to you speak and the way that you're able to break it down, I was doing the exact same thing you were just saying. Is I no longer see it as building a brand. I need to have something in the middle to change a person's perspective of how I can help, and that is building my brand. The more and more people I can help, the more people tell them this person helped me, and that's building the brand. Yeah, like you're unpacking it, and I don't even look at it anymore as build a brand. It's serve, and it's help.
Literally,
it's that middle portion.
And then when when I think about when you think about the objective of why you should post consistently, it's so that when they see your ad or when you give them that invitation, they can literally open up your stuff and go like this. Like sometimes that's all showing up consistently is intended for, is that you could either binge my stuff or you can endlessly scroll my stuff, which shows that I'm really real. And then unless you find something out there, but I love it, dude. I love it when I give my coaching offer in front of the people that I give it to, and I'm like, dude, do all the investigation you need to do. I have nothing to hide.
Yeah.
There's no sleazy, there's no nothing here. Like, I've been on the internet for a very long time, and you genuinely cannot find anything bad about me. Now, if you've been on the internet a very long time and there isn't anything on there, we got a problem. If you said you've been on it, a long time, but you scroll like this twice and it's done, I mean, don't be mad when somebody's like, dude, I don't know yet.
Yeah.
But that's what I think the pattern or the theme of this conversation has been just change the frame in which you see the action you need to take, because it serves so much more than the immediate outcome that we're all looking for, which might be the subscribers or the followers or the money. But the big picture is we are building businesses. And if you're building a business, which is essentially an organism that exists to serve you at a high level so that you can serve other people at a high level, then let's build that and let that drive our decisions and let that drive our showing up online.
Has there been a moment when you've uploaded, you've made a video, and let's say it didn't get the reaction that you're expecting or it didn't get the views, and then you went back and you just changed it and flipped it and it worked, and the algorithm pushed it differently because you changed one thing, if it's the thumbnail, if it's the title? Have you had moments like that where you learned and it wasn't beta testing on the front end? You did it after it was already posted, and basically giving the audience permission. It's okay to repurpose this a different way if you didn't 100%. Get what you were looking for.
Yeah, no, I mean, if you are made more aware of information on how to succeed on YouTube, the reward for that information goes to the people that have been posting consistently, even if it was blind or unintentional. If you understand packaging that much more, you can go in your archive, update your videos, and it can bring to life old dead videos.
That's dope.
And have I done that? I've 100% done that. I did it this morning. We released a video. It was a couple hours in, and I was just like, even though we use the YouTube title and thumbnail tester, I allow my intuition to drive that. And I think if you don't have the intuition or maybe the information to be able to make those calls, just trust whatever you've decided on. But yeah, I mean, sometimes if I've made something that I know resonates with more of my audience and I'm not pleased with how it's coming out of the gate, I will make some tweaks to it in kind of real time or even like a day or two later. I also want to be careful though, because if something comes out of the gate 5 or 4 out of 10 on YouTube, that might be good and that might be enough to get it, because there are some videos that will work for you over time. We call them slow burns.
Okay.
It's like a slow burner video is like, dude, it's gonna work for a while. And then there's other ones that are hot out of the gate and then they're done.
Yeah.
They have a short lifespan. So I don't like to dwell on it too much. What I dwell on is the next upload.
Okay.
It's like, dude, sick. Dude, this week's upload, A1. But guess what? Next week's coming.
And I don't know if like my audience is too small, but I've tried the A/B testing for the thumbnails and for the title, and mine always just crashes. It's like no data, and I'm like, oh, okay. Like I've tried to let it run for 2 weeks straight because it's like 14 days or something.
Yeah.
And I never get any analytics back, so I'm just like, okay, it was meant to be. Like
Yeah. So if honestly, you know what the way I see the test features on YouTube, it's kind of for the pros to even more, which is super like unfair when you think about it.
Sucks.
It's like, dude, MKBHD has millions and millions of people accessible to give him that data quick. Now he's rewarded because the way he took action in the past. So like, I'm not trying to be a victim here. If I were in your shoes, how much would you say on average do your podcast episodes get?
I would say like 600.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah. So I feel like you're in a position to do the title one and just test the thumbnails.
Okay.
And then and just be very clear in this season what the podcasts are, because you can have a podcast but not play the YouTube game. So meaning when I talked about the perfect package for a YouTube video, the 3 T's and then the first 30 seconds, most people will shoot a podcast at a studio like this, allow the guy to just edit a random intro of moments inside of the conversation, and then pick a title that doesn't even connect with the first 5 minutes of the video because everyone was doing their own thing. And so my approach with my podcast has always been a YouTube first approach. And so that's why, honestly, that's why my podcast has done really well over these years, is because I played the YouTube game and I continue to play the YouTube game. It serves the podcast. So even though I say the word I have a podcast, what I really have is a YouTube channel.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So that might be even like the intention you put behind, because the intro you read is perfect for an audio podcast. Because those that's your like core group of people.
Yeah.
But if we're trying to find new people, we want to make sure that we package the information for someone who's never met us.
Like a pain point.
Yeah.
And you're here to fix that.
Yeah. And so that's why I go back to like the idea is bigger than the person. So if the intro, if your intro says more about your guest or yourself, then it's like, it's amateur hours intro. Gotcha. But if you use the word you, chances are your intro is strong.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, for sure.
So then I can shoot the podcast episode, and then do my intro after I'm done with the episode, because I already kind of know I can speak to my audience because I know what this episode was about. So I know what we're going to speak about.
That would inform a better YouTube intro for sure.
Fire. Thank you.
Yeah. And if you were super laser focused on, and then there's also like looking to the lens, right?
Yeah.
Because if we're shooting a YouTube intro, dude, I'm gonna be like, Are you looking to build your personal brand this year and leverage your personal brand to make more money? Well, I have the #1 voice, and he's going to be breaking down the system on how to grow your YouTube channel, which is the place you can build trust, how to move people off platform into a conversion event, which is where people go from audience to your clients, and how to build the dream peace life that you've been looking for. Like, I mean, enrolling, and it's all about them. Notice it's like, it's you. That's what I found. So like, literally, if you want the legit YouTube intro strategy, Matthew 28:11 in the Message paraphrase, Jesus breaks down the perfect YouTube intro.
Which would be, are you burned out, tired of religion? That's an enrolling question with pain. He enrolls with pain. Okay. Come to me, and I will give you real rest. A rest for your souls. That is comprehension. So he actually he enrolls with pain, and then he focuses on the payoff. And the pain, or the payoff, is better for the pain, right? So, but if you think about it, he's very specific in his word choice. What's cool about Jesus is he always understood his audience. Yeah.
He used their language. That was the Message paraphrase is actually not a translation. The translation will actually say, "Are you heavy laden? Are you burdened, heavy laden?" Which is like a very agricultural farm, like you work outside kind of terminology. So he connects with them using their language. And so he enrolls with pain. He exposes the payoff. And then he says, come with me and I will show you real rest, a rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. And what he does is he then explains the next step. So like the next step would be the things that I'm about to share in this video. And if you watch YouTube videos that are cooking right now that go on your, feed, you'll see this pattern. You'll see they'll be like Sharon on YouTube is killing it. He's like a billionaire that's killing it. And he would say, if you want to become in the 1% of wealthy individuals, it was these principles that I've learned over being at Goldman Sachs for 20 years. At Goldman Sachs, I went from this to this with credibility. And in this video, I'm going to share you the wealth principles that unlock the 1% of all successful people on planet Earth. And it's like, dude, I'm locked in.
Yeah,
I'm too busy processing what you just said for me to click off. So how you start in the context of YouTube is more important a lot of times than the video itself.
Jeez, that was awesome, man.
Yeah.
I'm definitely changing my intros from here on out. So
you gotta tell me when it works.
Yeah, right. Absolutely. I know in the past you shared this, and that's the only reason I know this story, obviously, is you fell a victim to a Ponzi scheme. Did that circumstance change you going forward for countless different reasons, right? Of this like, hey, I trusted someone, now I view people differently, or I look at the way I view businesses differently, or I vet harder. Like, what did that loss turn into a lesson for you? How did that shape you?
No, I mean, honestly, bro, is #1, it taught me that $100,000 isn't a lot of money. And I say that because most people would think it is, but like, take it from a guy like me who lost it and nothing happened. And what I mean by that is nothing happened because it wasn't everything, and also money is just a tool. Yeah. So when I realized that I'm never gonna see this money again, as bummed out as I was, we still had food on the table. I was still able to do what I was doing with the people that I love. My wife still loved me, praise God.
There it is.
And I was just like, dude, if $100,000 isn't a lot of money, and losing it completely, it hasn't really changed anything. Dude, maybe $1 million isn't a lot of money. And I realized that all you need to do is come to that realization in your mind before it actualizes. So like when I asked Myron on my most viewed podcast with him, I asked him, I was like, why do most people never tap into becoming a millionaire? And he says, because they think $1 million is bigger than who they are. Of course, you're not going to achieve something that's bigger than you, but it's only bigger to you in your mind. And so the reason why I'm grateful in hindsight of losing that 100 is because, number one, it brought down the value of money. And I've learned that the pursuit of more money must be met with the devaluation of it. The more you devalue money, the more likely you are to use it to get more.
Oh, I get you.
Because when I ask you, will you trade $100,000 for $3 million? And you're like, dude, I'll do it anytime and I'll borrow the money. Like that devalue, you need to see that it says in the book, Who Not How, if you have a problem and money, you don't have a problem. But most of us don't equate money as a tool that could be used to advance in life
and fix the problem
and fix problems.
Yeah.
Like, dude, it's crazy. Like, we all have access to money, even in the form of borrowing it. But when I think about it, I've trained my mind to tell myself, if all the next level takes is money, it's like, that's it. Like, that's all it takes. I don't have to cut off my hand and like, this doesn't come with, you're telling me that all I have to do is use money and I'll be able to get to this. Yes. Well, then let's use the money. So that's what it really taught me. And I've been a tither my whole Christian walk since I got saved at 20. I started tithing. And that was what was very interesting about that predicament, because me and my wife prayed about it and we were like, dude, we feel peace about doing this, and it didn't work out. But that's where I see the sovereignty of God. And if you ask anyone successful, and it could be a good thing that you ask people that you know are financially well off, ask them like, do you have a painful money story? And they're going to be like, yeah, dude, I got embezzled by $1 million. Yeah, dude, I joined this venture, this fund, and nothing happened. Yeah, dude, I'm like, dude, it is almost the prerequisite to financial freedom is financial loss.
Right.
Because it changes your approach and I don't even want to say your appreciation of money, but it changes your perspective of money and all it is, and it truly is just a tool. And the lower you devalue money, the easier abundance could come your way. So this is why people have a hard time tithing. It's because they think it's a lot. That's a lot. I would argue, in comparison to what God wants to give you, it's nothing.
Nothing, yeah.
It's literally a seed that would go and produce a garden. But you're so focused on the seed instead of the garden God wants to give your life and your kids, and break the greed off your life. You know, it's like, dude, he's called us to be joyfully generous. And if God calls you to give something, he's never, and I'm so grateful that God doesn't ask for it all. He could have.
Yeah.
Like, we could live in a time and space where it's like 100% of everything we make goes back to the kingdom.
And it would be fair.
And it would be fair because he's God.
Because he gave everything up for us.
Yeah.
And we weren't even thought of yet because we're so young in comparison to 2,000 years ago.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But thank God, he's like, all I need is 10 to prove that I could do more with 90 than you can with 100.
Dang.
And so God, when he asks for the first 10, he asks for the first 10 because the first is best in this case. So if you give him the last 10, but it's the same number, it's not the same heart. And then people ask me, does God want you to be rich, Omar? Yeah, God wants you to be rich. But what precedes him wanting you to be rich is that he has your heart. But they want me to give a spiritual answer to a rite of passage to affirm the lifestyle they're already living in. Like, God wants me to be rich, so I can do whatever I want. It's like, yeah, God wants you to be rich, but you shouldn't do whatever you want. You should do what he wants. and then watch the money flow. And so that's why I also know I was okay in losing the 100. I felt like a bad steward because we're called to multiply. But that's just, I mean, the lesson is a lesson. And something my friend Neil Dingra told me was like, bro, something he's learned, which will serve every listener or watcher, is don't use your hard-earned money and risk it. Rather, risk hard-earned money on yourself. Invest it in yourself because you're the variable that can be controlled. Don't give your hard-earned money to somebody else's whatever, whether it's a Ponzi scheme or an investment fund, or if it's hard-earned money, don't high risk it.
Yeah.
Any high risk investment, let it just be in yourself and in your business, because that multiple that you get to control is why you'll be rewarded for it. So yeah, I mean, I'm okay to spend $50,000 in the next 3 weeks in ads because I get to control what happens as a result of people that come my way from that.
And you know you'll multiply it. So
100.
great investment. One of my friends that I had told that I was going to be sitting with you, he asked me to ask you, why do you say only upload long form, don't upload any shorts?
On
And-
YouTube.
On YouTube. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. He asked me to ask, why is that?
Yeah.
Like what you...
Well, my thing is, it's my objective. And my objective is to create it's funny because like my COO, her name's Annabelle, and she would say, and maybe she stole it from somewhere else, but she would say, space is sexy.
Okay.
Like Adele,
Yeah.
Taylor Swift, Kendrick Lamar, Frank Ocean, Kanye West, these people, Omar Elakori, I had to throw my name in there. These
Space.
people create space between what they release to allow for people to appreciate it.
Okay. I get what you mean.
And I'm not saying uploading YouTube shorts is a bad thing. I'm saying for my objective, you can find short form Omar on Instagram. But on this platform on YouTube, if you want to consume me, I want you to turn your phone sideways. And I want you to psychologically prepare yourself to hang out with me. Now, one of the most consistent comments I get is, this is my third, fourth, fifth time watching this podcast.
So dope.
So when I think about the effect, the intentionality of the content to create an experience of people that it's so high in value, you rewatch my 90-minute podcasts. Like, I don't need to post shorts, you know, because there's 3 levels of consumption online. I learned this from Richmond. There's intermittent consumption, meaning short form here and there. You pop up, you show up on Instagram here and there. You show up on here and there on stories. That's intermittent. If you wanted to get to 7 hours, which would be the rule for people to hang out with you, it's not the same 7 hours as immersive. So there's intermittent and then there's immersive. 7 hours long form trumps 7 hours short form. Even if they binged you, it's just because of the nature of short form. It's a polished version of you. It's different every time you scroll. It's a completely different topic. Immersive long form allows you to talk about things in its context and give and people to get who you are through long form. Then the third highest level of consumption is intimate. Like if we went to dinner for an hour, or even this between me and you, we're getting a more, you're consuming me at a completely different level than the people actually watching this podcast.
Absolutely.
So, that's probably the answer to your homie as to why I don't upload shorts on YouTube, is because I'm trying to stay in the immersive and intimate level, because I don't need to intermittent consumption could be a waste of energy trying to keep up there. It's a hamster wheel. Not saying, but immersive video allows me to be consistent with intermittent content. So that's my biggest reason why is just my objective is, it's like, I mean, less is more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Denzel said it, like, don't be everywhere. That's why I'm not in every single movie. So when I do drop something, everyone rushes to the theater to see it because I space out projects.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Space is sexy, bro.
That's it. I
Yeah.
like it. I'd like to ask, how do you make education content like fun or entertaining instead of, and people want to binge watch it instead of just, oh, I know I'm going to come and learn something. And they already come in with that mindset of like, all right, just turning on because Omar put on something new today or put out something new. Like actually be entertained with learning something.
Yeah. I mean, when it comes to educational content, I think the key thing is to share something you came up with. Not something you came up with from your butt, but like something you put together in the form of a framework, in the form of a process. And this is the role of a thought leader. A thought leader is someone who has a student's identity with a leader's responsibility and masters in deliverability. When you are a student first, you don't have to be paid to learn. You actually pay to learn. You go home and you watch educational content. You love reading books. Student identity. When you have a leader's responsibility with a student's identity, what happens is it informs what you're consuming as a student. So now I'm not just doom scrolling. I'm not just learning just to learn for learn's sake. I'm learning with the responsibility to know that there is a group of people that need to hear what I'm learning. And that's mastering in deliverability. And that's how thought leaders thrive. Thought leaders thrive because when they deliver information, they do it in a way that is so digestible, approachable, and accessible that it makes people think to themselves, man, they've been thinking about this way more than I have. This is my problem, but they're more obsessed with my problem than I am with myself. And I found that this is working really well on YouTube, and that is sharing frameworks. Like if you find another talking head video show up on your feed, click on it, and they might say the framework, 5-step process, funnel, shape, the whatever roadmap. Like they're going to use something. They're going to tell you that they've done the heavy lifting and put it all together, and they're going to hand it to you on a platter. Yeah. So that's really how you make educational content entertaining, is by sharing it in a way that is so accessible and digestible, because people feel smart. And honestly, most people will use big words, and you think you sound smart by using industry lingo and big words and terminology, when the goal is for the person to feel empowered and smart. And you do that by talking at a 3rd or 5th grade level and slowing down. And most people call that dumbing down information, when in all reality, it's smartening up the information, because you're making someone else feel smart. So it's not dumbing down to make, I don't know, it's just funny how we use these terms like you're doing less than by making something make more sense.
Right.
It's like, no, you're actually doing the most doing that.
Absolutely. I appreciate you taking the afternoon, man. So much. This one is like near and dear to my heart. But if you could talk to the audience for someone who's on the verge of or running their head up against the wall and they want to give up, and you want to speak to them and just like, do not quit because you're this close to XYZ. What would you say to that individual, brother?
Heck yeah, bro. Yeah, I mean, sorry, I don't even want to apologize for it. The Bible says in Galatians, it says, don't grow weary in doing good, for in due season you will reap a harvest if you don't give up. So the question is, you're probably running into the wall because you haven't seen the harvest, but you only get the harvest by not giving up. And so I would say, don't get tired of doing good stuff. Like, the fulfillment will come if you put people first and you serve them. It doesn't even matter, honestly, the outcome that would benefit you, because you will feel so at peace to know that somebody else is getting the help. And if you call yourself a servant, then that means you're going to lean in, talk more clear, create better content so that people can digest it better. Long are the days of people just wanting to talk about what they want to talk about and building an audience for that. Think about the person, help them, and then don't give up on them, because the reward is in not giving up.
So good. While you're at it, let them know how they can reach you, man, and what you got going on in the future.
Yeah, bro. I mean, I'm out Instagram, YouTube. You could DM me. Thank you, or I'll give you a link. If it's an affiliate link, if you want, to the Content to Cash Challenge, which is a 5-day live coaching experience I do every so often. It doesn't always happen, but if it's coming up, it's a really cool way to get in the room and level up your stuff.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you.
Appreciate you. Thank you for having me.
No doubt. Man, you heard it here first. It's not in the journey. It's the harvest at the end. So if you have a dream, if you have something that you want to obtain, and everybody else around you in your life is saying you can't do it, you can't accomplish it because they've never been able to do it, or they haven't seen it done, double down on yourself. If there's something in the way that you want to overcome, and you know at the end of it that you are going to be happy and you're going to be able to be fruitful for everybody else in your family, double down on it. And if I ever get the opportunity to meet you, I'd love to meet the double down version of you. And that was today's episode.